Hi guys! So this is a new channel I am setting up to discuss Game of Thrones theories, Game of Thrones history, all kinds of Game of Thrones things, the show, books we all love. I'm a huge Game of Thrones addict. I love the books, TV show, read all the companions. I'm one of those people who just watches all the YouTube videos, like replays the previews 1,000 times. I love this show so much, and I was watching loads of theory videos and I was like, you know what? I love these theories and I have stuff that expands on these theories that I wanted to share with people. You know what, I thought, why not just go for it? Let's do this. So today I'm talking about two things. I'm talking about Cleganebowl and Bastard Bowl. So these are two kind of huge things that are upcoming in the show. So first off, I just want to say that these theories aren't mine originally. I did not coin Clegane or Bastard Bowl. I didn't. Like, I wish I had, but I didn't. So these aren't my original theories or anything. I'm just kind of expanding on them, talking about some history behind them, and just kind of, you know, chatting about them. So yeah, first off I'm going to get into Cleganebowl. So Cleganebowl is this idea that there will eventually be a fight between Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, and Sandor Clegane, the Hound. So a backstory of these two. These two are brothers. They grew up together, and basically they had a very kind of stormy relationship. When they were young, Sandor Clegane took one of Gregor's toys just to play with. You know, he was being harmless, but Gregor Clegane took it as him trying to steal it, and so shoved his brother's Sandor's head in the fire, which gave him permanent disfiguration of the face because he held his head over hot coals and basically charred away a side of his face. This left Sandor with huge trauma, massive kind of issues surrounding fire, and a great hatred for his brother. Their dad covered it up because he didn't want like a huge family scandal, like, oh yeah, these are my sons. This is Sandor the disfigured and Gregor the sociopath. He didn't want that. So basically he covered it up and said that Sandor burnt himself when his bed sheets caught fire. So basically Gregor obviously hurt his brother, and Sandor had this huge hatred for him. You know, he kind of disfigured his face, he made him very angry and very moody. They do not like each other. It's not really explained how Gregor feels about Sandor. It's more that Sandor just has this huge kind of thing for hating his brother. So how are they going to clash? So first of all, Gregor Clegane, as we know, went against Oberyn Martell in a trial for combat. He stood for Cersei, whereas Oberyn stood for Tyrion. He did kill Oberyn, which made us all cry. It's very emotional. Love Pedro Pascal. But the Mountain didn't come off free. Obviously, he was poisoned with Oberyn's spear. But then Maester Qyburn said, look, I can bring him back. That's totally cool. I can, like, zombify him, but he will be changed in the process. I think the idea behind this was, look, I'm going to bring him back, but he is pretty much going to be a zombie. He can still fight. He can still punch. He can still, like, kick some ass. But he's not going to talk, he's not going to be a normal human being. So yeah, basically, Gregor at this point is just, in my opinion, he is just brute strength. Like, he's not necessarily a skilled fighter. He gets away from the fact that he's fucking massive, and that he's huge and, like, scary looking, and, like, it's not necessarily that he's this awesome trained fighter like Jaime Lannister or Loras Tyrell. It's just the fact that he's fucking massive, so yeah. And then there's Sandor Clegane. Sandor Clegane served in Joffrey's Kingsguard before he left at the Battle of Blackwater. Had this weird thing for Sansa. But no, basically he was in the Kingsguard, and then he left, found Arya Stark. We know all of this. It was in the show. And basically Sandor then was presumed dead because he had this huge fight with Brienne of Tarth, and she cut him up pretty bad, and he ended up bleeding to death, and Arya wouldn't kill him. She left him there to die. So, a lot of people summarise that basically Sandor Clegane isn't dead. This is the gravedigger theory. The idea that Sandor Clegane was taken in by this holy institution, and basically his life was saved. He was resurrected. We know this is possible in the Game of Thrones universe, so it's very plausible that this is what happened to Sandor. And the idea is he became this huge holy man, that he kind of, you know, lost all of this anger and vengeful feelings and gave himself to the church. So basically, this is kind of found out when Brienne of Tarth visits Riverrun, where the Holy Institution is placed, and sees someone that has the same disfiguration as Sandor Clegane, and kind of is the same height as him, and it's all a bit kind of, is that him, is that not him? It probably is, let's be real. So yeah, basically, how will they come to clash? The idea is that Cersei is soon going to have her trial by combat by the faith, because of all of her sins, you know, like fucking all of her family members and just being a bitch. She is basically going to be tried by the Faith, and she chose a trial by combat. Now, because she is the Queen Regent, she has to pick a member of the Kingsguard. I mean, she'd probably pick Robert Strong anyway. That is the Mountain, by the way. When he was resurrected, he was now known as Robert Strong. But she was going to pick him anyway, like, come on, who wouldn't? But the idea is that she will pick Robert Strong to be her champion. The Faith then needs to pick someone to be their champion. And who better than the brother of the Mountain, who is now a reformed holy man and thus can be picked as the church's champion. So the idea is they'll clash, they'll go at each other, and, you know, it really has huge consequences, this fight. This isn't just a case of brother going against brother, and is Sandor still holding all that hatred? Will the Mountain's brute strength win him through? It is the case of it has huge consequences, whether Cersei is found guilty or innocent, whether the Mountain sticks around, whether Sandor kind of finally gets his vengeance. It has huge, huge implications for kind of storylines going onwards. The big question is, will the Mountain triumph in Cersei's place? Will he kind of get her off of these charges that have been against her? Because as we know, trial by combat, if your side wins, it's basically all forgiven, you're good, the gods have decided that you are cool. It's pretty much what it is. So yeah, what will happen? Will it be the Mountain or Sandor? Comment below who you think it's going to be. I am rooting for the Hound, just because I think that, you know what, the Mountain relies so much on his brute strength and relies so much on the fact that he's huge. Sandor and the Mountain went up against each other before and it seemed pretty even matched. Sandor has more training, he was in the Kingsguard for longer, he has been kind of reforming himself as this holy man, so he probably has better reasons for being in the fight. So I just think Sandor is going to come out on top, just because, you know, it would finally be that payoff of kind of getting his brother, this brother who disfigured him and made him terrified of fire, and, you know, kind of also made him question his family. I mean, what kind of dad covers up the fact that one of his sons is a sociopath, you know? So I think that Sandor is going to come out on top, and then I think that would be really interesting character development for Cersei, because honestly, Cersei in the books and in the TV show kind of has nowhere else to go with it. I mean, I know there's the struggle with Tommen, and there's all of this, but I think throwing that wrench in the works that she is found guilty by the Faith would be a massive thing to go forwards. So I think that the Hound is going to win, and I think it would just be awesome to see him finally get that revenge on his brother, and again, it would be awesome to have the Hound back in the GOT universe. Okay, so number 2, this is Bastard Bowl. So this is a pretty big deal. We know this is going to happen. This isn't a theory. Yeah, basically, the Bastard Bowl is the idea between Jon Snow and Ramsay Snow. I know he's Ramsay Bolton. Refuse to call him that. He's Ramsay Snow. Snow versus Snow. So the idea is that obviously Jon Snow is now kind of massing an army to take down Ramsay Snow. Ramsay has Rickon. Ramsay is held up at Winterfell, and obviously he's evil. He's saying, if you don't give me back Sansa Stark, I am going to come, I'm going to kill you all. Obviously, giving back his sister is not an option. It's not like Jon was ever going to be like, you know what, this ain't worth it. Sansa, sorry, you have fun, you go ahead, good luck. Like, that was never going to happen. Obviously, Jon is going to fight him, you know, and Sansa's kind of rallying him along that they need to take him down. So the idea is these two sides will clash. It was shown very briefly in the trailer that kind of the Bolton army with all of their shields against this kind of unruly Jon Snow army that is going to be made up of wildlings and smaller northern houses. So far, Ramsay has an army of predicted 5,000. Jon at the moment has an army of 2,000 wildlings. So, the odds are not looking good in Jon's favour. However, he said, you know, look, we need to rally the northern houses, and Sansa said, you are the last true son of the Warden of the North, the last true Warden of the North. Houses will fight for you. So, first off, there's the Karstarks. They have declared for the Boltons because Robb Stark cut off the family patriarch's Richard Karstark's head. Don't think they're going to switch sides. I don't see it happening. So basically, the Karstarks are with the Boltons. The Umbers are currently with the Boltons. Not believing it. The Northern Conspiracy, but I'm not going to talk about that now. That's a whole other video. But the Umbers are with the Boltons. With the Boltons, supposedly, with the Boltons, and then the Manderleys are kind of just not around. I don't know what they're doing, like, they're just fuck knows. But anyway, the point is that they are basically, Jon is now saying we're going to have to go after the smaller northern houses because the big ones won't stand behind us. They're going to go for House Mormont. They're going to go for all of the kind of little houses around the north that can kind of stand with them. And the idea is that the three biggest houses, by the Boltons and the Starks, are the Manderleys, the Karstarks, and the Umbers. But the idea is all of the little houses combined match those numbers. So they need to kind of rally as many of those houses to their cause as possible to be able to fight Ramsay Bolton's army with kind of a winning chance. So the question is, which army will win? Let's say Jon amasses enough numbers to go against Ramsay. That is going to happen. We saw it in the trailers. Who is going to win? My money's on Jon Snow, not just because I love Jon Snow, but because I think, look, he's been killed, he's been resurrected, and you know what? It's a bit kind of pointless to have a resurrected character in this huge kind of conspiracies with R plus L equals J, and kind of, is he a Targaryen, to then, him just to die and be dead? Like, that seems a little bit pointless to me. And as well, I kind of am thinking that the Starks have been through so much. Rickon is currently in Ramsay's dungeon. Bran done fucked up. We know this. Bran is fucked at the moment. Arya's off trying to be a faceless man because she has nowhere else to go. Eddard's dead. Caitlyn's dead. Rob's dead. Benjen's missing. Sansa's been raped and abused and horrifically, treated. The Starks have had a lot of shit thrown at them. Isn't it just a bit lazy just to continue to use the Starks as the horse that you can beat? Surely they need a win. They need a victory. They need to show that they are still a house to be reckoned with. They have shown so far they are the most resilient family. They have faced so much crap. They have faced so many kind of bad things happening to them. They failed marching on the south. They've been abused. They've been raped. They've been literally murdered and brought back from the dead. I think it would be really lazy just to have another thing where the Starks are kind of crapped all over, and again, just the Starks are used as the horse to beat. In my opinion, I think that's lazy. Also, I think as well, the armies, the way they match up, the Bolton army is going to be very well trained. They have kind of better equipment, they are an army, they are soldiers, they were trained to do this. Jon's army is going to be a little bit different. He's going to have a mishmash of houses, he's going to have all different houses fighting together. He's going to have the Wildling army. The Wildlings are fucking crazy. They've got giants, they've got Tormund. I wouldn't want to face Tormund. He's my favourite character. But, they've got kind of this wildling army that is this mishmash of kind of fighters. They fight with weapons in two hands. They've climbed the wall. They have faced horrendous winters. They have kind of faced starvings. They've faced, kind of everyone trying to snuff them out. I think that the wildling army is a force to seriously be reckoned with just based on how much they've been through. They've been through Hardhome. They've been through Mance Rayder attempting to get them past the wall, They've been through so much. I think that, again, they need a win as well as the Starks. The Wildlings need a win. Okay, so that's my opinion. I think that Jon Snow is going to come out on top. I think it's lazy writing if kind of the Starks just get beaten again and Sansa gets recaptured and Jon Snow gets killed. I think it's lazy. I think it's kind of... It doesn't really... The way I know George R. R. Martin isn't writing the episodes. I know that kind of he's just told them vaguely what he wants. But so far, D&D have done a pretty good job with the show. Let's not talk about Dawn. Done a pretty good job with the show. But basically, they, I feel like they do good plot progression. They show reasons behind things. There are always reasons for winners. There are reasons for losers. And I don't know how they justify just having the Starks beaten again and having Jon Snow killed or Sansa killed. I don't know how they would justify just, the Starks lost again. Oh, wow. Sorry. Guess that's not, I just don't see that happening. I think that the Starks are going to come out on top, or maybe there'll be some kind of... There'll definitely be losses. I'm saying, there's never a Game of Thrones battle where everyone gets through hunky-dory. I think someone's going to get hurt. I hope it's not Tormund, but I think someone could get killed. Very much so. I'm not saying that everyone's going to come out the other side, but I think there will be losses. I think there'll be twists. And then there's always the question about who is going to take down Ramsay ultimately. Who is going to kill Ramsay? A lot of people are saying Sansa. A lot of people are saying Jon. A lot of people are saying, he could just get cut down in the battle. There's a whole host of people who want Ramsay's head. I think the writers, if Ramsay does die, the writers will lend themselves to having Sansa do it, because they're really on this whole girl power movement of the moment of, girls kind of fighting and being the tough ones in the show, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. But I think that, you know, that would really be as well an awesome character kind of arc for Sansa. She was raped, she was beaten, she was abused, you know. There's the idea that she might be pregnant by Ramsay. Other video. So I think it'd be really cool for her to come full circle and kill the man who, again, when she thought she was safe, made her life hell. But that technically could be Littlefinger. So maybe she'll kill both. Maybe. But yeah, so those are my theories, guys. Those are what I think is going to happen with Clegane and Bastard Bowl. Again, the original theories are not my own. I'm just talking about what I think is going to happen. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be uploading another video possibly later today or tomorrow on Cold Hands and Benjen Stark, because that is awesome. I cannot wait to do that. So yeah, if you like this, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, you know the drill with that. Any questions, comment below and I will immediately get back to you. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this and I'll see you soon. Bye!